All right, so hello everyone. This is a really quick presentation on a lesson that I did about the skeletal system. So here we go. So yeah, you can watch these two really quick videos. So I'll play mine for you. This is my partner Alex's. So yeah.
Hi, so today in class, we will be talking about our skeleton system. I'm so excited, y'all. So our classified objective is compare one of the major systems of the human body, which for us would be the skeleton system, and in terms of the functions necessary for life. So this means all the jobs that we need our bones for. So bones will produce red blood cells and move them throughout our body. They help us support us and move in our daily lives. Now, Sully, the skeleton is going to help us throughout our lesson today so that we can help label our bones from the top of our head, which will be our skull, to the bottom of our feet, which are our metatarsals or our toes. Now, we'll also be reading this wonderful book by Philip Bristow called The Skeleton Inside of You about Halloween. And something else we'll be doing is using our partners that are sitting beside us to make a real-life human skeleton. I look forward to doing this with y'all.
So yeah, so there's those two videos. On the next slide, if it'll, oh, there we go. So then the next thing you'll have your students do is complete a KWL chart. So you'll do the first column and they'll fill out what they already know about the skeletal system before we get into our lesson. Then you will go through and hopefully you have a copy of this book. It's called The Skeleton Inside of You by Philip Bristow, illustrated by True Kelly. It's a rather short book, and I recommend that you ask questions throughout the book, help the kids relate to the skeletal system. You'll then discuss what you learned from the book, or you can do it throughout the book. I asked a lot of questions during it, so yeah. And then as a class, you guys can go over the different bones in the skeletal system. So on each of the next few slides, I have a picture on the right-hand side of the screen of the body bone. And on the left-hand side is the name and definition with the corresponding number. So your students will be able to figure out which bone is with which word. So here's the middle of the body, for your ribs and your spinal column and your pelvis. Your arm, so it has your humerus, your ulna, your radius, and your metacarpals. Your leg, so your femur, patella, fibula, tibia, and metatarsals. And then once you've done that, you can kind of do a short assessment or a quiz, or even just a group work depending on the level of your students, and have them either work as pairs or individually to fill out this chart. You can use this slide if you want a word bank for your students. If not, go for it. And it can be their short assessment or, like I said, group work to help become more familiar with the location. So then, again, here is the word bank. You also use this slide when creating your individual sticky notes for your students. So each student or pair of students will get a set of sticky notes. On each sticky note will have one of these words labeled. I recommend that you mix them up because otherwise they'll just go top from your skull to your toes. And then as group work, they can, somewhere in here, well, as group work, they can, and in pairs label the parts of their bones. So they'll take a sticky note that says skull, for example, and they'll put it on their forehead. Or it'll say fibula or tibia or ulna or radius or humerus, and they will put it wherever their corresponding location on their body is. I have left out a few words, your spine, your clavicle, and your pelvis for safety reasons and privacy issues, especially if you're doing it with the upper grades. So this is just a quick little slide about some of the jobs that our bones help us do, from protection of major organs like our lungs and heart to movement and support as we walk around every day, and they also help you create red blood cells. So in real life, this is when you would connect it back to the students' everyday lives. You might be like, oh, how do bones help me every day? You could ask questions like, have you ever seen someone do a back bend? How do your bones help you with this? Or picking something up. And then we have me and my partner Alex have created this really fun video of us doing some things that can help the students relate even more to it. And if for an extra mile, if you want to have the students create their own video, it could be a fun, extra activity that you do if you have time. So we'll go ahead and watch this. So yeah.
How can we use all of this in our daily lives?
So as you watch these movements, keep in mind the importance of your bones. Walking into a room, sitting down, touching your toes, crossing your legs while reading a book, putting on a jacket, standing up, putting on your backpack, typing on a computer, using your phone, writing on the whiteboard, stretching your legs, jogging, stretching your arms, moving your head in a circular motion.
So as they go through the video, you can have the students do the same movements. You can have them also as an extra, create their own video. You could also pause the video at intermittent different spots and ask them questions. How, what bones are used when you roll your head? What bones are used when, you go for a walk? What bones are supporting you then? So then you can watch, there's a link on the slide here for a super cute Schoolhouse Rock video, which I love and grew up on. It's just, I think it's maybe 3 or 4 minutes long. We're not gonna watch it now. But if you go on YouTube, you can just Google it. It's really fun. You have students sing along with it if they want, or just kind of watch it, So this is the instructions for the sticky note activity that I mentioned earlier. You'll pair up your students and give them each a set of sticky notes. And then depending on the level of your students, you can either have them put the sticky notes on the other person, or you can have them put the sticky notes on themselves. And it just kind of depends on your students and their level of knowledge. Yeah, here are my citations. Again, there's a lot of different books we've used. If your students are more interested, I recommend the Skeleton Inside of You is our book. If your students are really curious about just the human body in general, the Fantastic Body, What Makes You Tick and How You Get Sick book is really interesting and funny. And the Human Anatomy Skeleton book, and then just any other books that children, might read. The last 2 are a little more advanced for knowledge base. The first 2 are a little more fun just for pleasure reading. So yeah, I hope you find this lesson enjoyable, and I hope you get to use it. Bye, everyone.